Welcome back. It's exactly 9:48 a.m. and we are crossing over to Kigali. We'll be talking with journalist and editor with the Kigezi news based in Kampala. And that, of course, is you, Musinguzi Goodluck. A very good morning. Welcome to the program. Nice to be talking with you this morning.
Good morning, Julie. I'm happy to be back on Salam Media.
Okay, for a change, this seems to be a good news story and possibly a turnaround, not only for Rwanda, but other countries in Africa. We're looking at the issue around the Rwandan-Russia nuclear deal, which obviously underscores Africa's shifting power balance. What exactly does this mean for Rwanda in particular, and then perhaps the rest of Africa?
Thank you very much. The nuclear story, developing nuclear power and nuclear science, is not new to Africa. Actually, South Africa is the only country at the commercial level, and Egypt is coming on board. I think Uganda has moved a bigger step than Rwanda. So Rwanda is, I think, adding Rwanda and maybe any other African country. For me, I would look at it from the point of AI, artificial intelligence. What does Africa need in terms of competing with the rest of the world? If we don't have enough power, enough electricity, if you look at the US in the coming few years, they need so many gigawatts of electricity. And so Rwanda is welcome to join, to work with Russia. And I hope they move from research, studying and all that, and then they go to the practicability of setting up something for their country. Because if the US is one entity, and yet we have Africa, you know, divided in 52 countries or so, we risk so much that for us, we look to be going at a slow, at a snail pace, that the world is moving so fast. So Rwanda is welcome to join. I can see from the first time when they had meetings with the Russians, so many years have gone by. I think while we recommend them, we should also say they are so slow. Maybe they never saw what was coming. Because for me, if Africa had moved, maybe if we would have like half of Africa really with so many, centers of nuclear power, maybe we would be, hosting, these big data centers, big AI factories, but we look that we seem to be losing out. So, because when I read through what Rwanda is doing, I find that they are still at a level of research. They are sending students. But for us as Uganda, we are in talks. We should be able, we have already located a place. Kenya has done so. I saw the President William Ruto trying to engage the communities in Western Kenya, and the governor of the place that is going to host was very open and supportive. And therefore, Africa is still sleeping while we celebrate some of these things. But when you read through, taking so many years, almost now 20 years on a project, for me, it's while I say yes, move, but I have my reservations.
Okay, despite the fact that Africa has not moved fast enough and hasn't kept pace with the Western world, let's look at this agreement between Rwanda and Russia. It may look very technical on paper, which is focused on science, nuclear medicine and energy, but it does signal a very deep shift in the geopolitical balance across Africa, does it not?
It does. Of course, the few times we have talked about the war in DRC, and Rwanda coming in the picture, being accused of supporting rebels, allegedly. The US came up with sanctions not far away from, we discussed this year. And so reviving the Russian project, maybe it is one way of saying, look, let's look to the Far East, or, let's look to Russia. And so I think Rwanda is trying to send signals to the US that while you want to shut us down on some of these things, especially in the minerals of DRC, that we can be able to work with the others. And therefore, if you look at it, it's a signal. It's a signal to the United States for them that, whatever you are doing, you are no longer the only one. We can always find partners in China. We can find partners in Russia. And therefore, it's a big statement. But Africa has done this before. South Africa has done it. How many countries? If you can do a quick research, many countries have joined the BRICS. And even when you see some of these wars, maybe they are trying to save the dollar and the face of America. Because remember, there are those who are saying maybe after Iran, Rwanda would be the one next, being cut off in so many ways. So I think Rwanda is trying to look far ahead and try to survive by bringing Russia on board. Yeah.
And you've actually preempted, or rather answered, my next question that I was going to put to you, and that is, how do you suppose that Washington will respond to this move by Rwanda? I can't believe that they'd be very happy about this MOU being signed by Rwanda and Moscow. And of course, you're also warming relations towards China. China too has a big presence in Africa. So I'm kind of wondering what sort of a backlash might Rwanda get by Washington. You also indicated hopefully the war on Iran ends soon. Do you not think Washington will have its eyes on Rwanda, that you might suffer some sort of repercussions because of this MOU with Moscow?
If the Iranian war ends very quickly, believe me or not, Rwanda, Cuba, and some other countries, and you remember the US president said he has focus on different countries. He can't take an egg in the face that Rwanda does this at the time when he's in war. And definitely, I can tell you that African countries have been becoming bored because, they get entangled. It's like, maybe chicken or a dog being, caught up in a corner, or a cat. What do? When you look backwards and you can't move. So America and Europe, the way they have been doing business with Africa, it sort of comes in a bullish way. It's tagged to things like, homosexuality, tagged to things like human rights, overstaying office, and all those things. And therefore, African countries start developing that muscle of saying, who else is in the market? And therefore, Russia and China are in the market. If they are willing to talk, if they are willing to support some of these things, why not? Why shouldn't Africa look the other side? And therefore, the debate, the bullying, the use of force, will it be on all countries? So for me, I see that, yes, Rwanda is preparing for what is coming, and they know it because it has already been announced. But such an MOU might cause Washington, to tighten the nuts on Rwanda. And maybe that would be very bad for us who are in the region of East Africa. But we watch to see what happens. But this is a preempt on Washington. Washington is, if it went for Venezuela, if it went for Iran, with the agreement they signed, I doubt that they will keep quiet Rwanda doing these advances instead of sorting. Now, will this, Uganda bought military jets from Russia so many years ago. Is this agreement more of only nuclear power, or it might come up also with some sorts of, defense shields and all that? So Africa should be watching.
Absolutely. We're going to wrap up. Do you think Rwanda is prepared for the repercussions by the United States? They've already threatened, they've pointed a finger at Rwanda. Are you worried? Is your government worried? And are they prepared for what might be unleashed on Rwanda by the Americans?
I think quietly people might not be discussing this in the public arena, but at the East African level, for example, in Uganda, we have seen the president of Uganda say, why don't we, as East Africa, but also as Africa, build something around defending ourselves? So the word defending ourselves is coming up once in a while in some of these meetings. So if we see the jets, Rwanda is a very small country. We have a region called Karamoja in the northwest of Uganda. It's bigger than Rwanda. So if you put jets on it, how much are you going to destroy? It's such a small country that you can destroy it in 2 days. But will they be able to put up a fight? That is because, RDF has been sanctioned. And therefore, I believe that quietly behind the scenes, they must be putting up, ways and, maybe trying to reach out to other nations to see if the US came up to bully them, if the US came militarily, what would happen? If it's happening in the Middle East, what if it comes on one of the smallest countries in Africa? And therefore, will Africa then, wake up to discuss when already the jets are flying in the air, or Tomahawks are hitting sites of RDF? I really say that Africa should be worried. I worry me as a person that because we are in the equation where these countries, especially US and China, are looking for rare minerals, and they are not far away from Rwanda, and Rwanda is being told, back off. They have been sanctioned. Now they are looking to the east, but everybody is waiting. When the Iranian war ends, what next will be there? So we have a lot to worry, yes, because I know we can't rise to the muscle of the United States of America.
Lots to think about and lots to be worried about. Investigative journalist Musinguzi Goodluck Ronald from Kampala talking to us about the MOU between Rwanda and Moscow, Russia, and of course the repercussions. Very worrying indeed. You have a good day. God bless. Until the next time. Lovely talking with you.
Bless you too.
2 after 10 o'clock. Thank you for being with me. It's time for a wrap up. It was lovely being in your company over the past 2 hours. Don't forget to join me tomorrow on the mid-morning show. And that, of course, is at 11 a.m. Till then, as always, take care on the roads. And assalamu alaikum from me, Julie Ali.